Hello everybody, I wanted to showcase the Lucius survival event. Let's go over the roster real quick. We have a D2 Karn, G3 Malorot, Gold 1 Corodius, and Gold 1 Abraxas, and a Gold 1 Harkin. So I know that not everybody is going to have a D2 Karn, sadly, but I think that a Gold 3 Malodus and Rockbone are pretty reasonable. And given Nandi's video on the event, I think that if you haven't already upgraded Corodius and Harkin to Gold 1, he gives really good advice, so I would say that was potentially a mistake. In place of Karn, I'm actually not sure who you would use. I decided to start out without Karn just because the TKFT aspect of him. So let's give this a go and see how it starts. The important thing to remember with Harkin is that he needs to kill as much as possible in order to stack his buff. He gets a passive damage buff whenever he kills a unit. So you'll notice whenever I attack, I'm always trying to find somebody for Harkin to attack first. Lucius, because of his ability to revive, I'm actually not too concerned about him dying. Just in this case, he was the only one lacking health, so, and Rockbone had nothing better to do. Also, because the Death Guard are pretty strong and resilient, I decided to put the health buffs onto Harkin, since he is definitely a glass cannon and a half. As Nandi pointed out, playing the Ildari, they have a lot of anti-turtling mechanics, including the Harlequins and the grenades from the Guardians. It's really nice if the Guardians don't just all come in and splash their grenade immediately. And yes, everybody still hates the Harlequins. They are probably my first or second most hated unit in this game. When you use Corodius, remember his active is really good in Horde mode, but one thing you want to try to do is summon him, or summon with him, when his Poxwalkers can immediately attack. Remember, when they're summoned, they can't move the turn they're summoned, but they can attack. So if his Contagions of Nurgle aura is 3 hexes, he's going to summon all over the place, and what you're hoping for is that when he summons, those summons can immediately attack neighboring units. Okay, last common wave coming up. Again, I'm not too concerned about Lucius dying. His mechanic makes me think that it's going to be just fine. I'm a little concerned with survival and that you kind of have to separate your units to take everyone down, and both Harkin and Malodus kind of want Rockbone around them, just because if they get taken out for some reason, you want Rockbone there to revive them. Okay, all good, on to the uncommon waves now. I'm ignoring the shield buff. I'm playing this in the test server, as you can imagine, since the event isn't live yet, and the shield buff obviously doesn't help me out here. Now, this is potentially a mistake. I'm turtling, and we'll see what happens here. Yep, Harlequins came in, plasma grenades. Okay, still have a couple Poxwalkers, that's good. Ah, Harlequins, I hate you so much. Remember, keep killing with Harkin. You need that. I haven't had... This is actually my very first time playing with Lucius, and I'm recording this after the fact. I'm not too enamored with his active. I don't really think there's much... it seems like more... Like everybody's active, it kind of seems more like a get-out-of-prison thing, fire it off once just when you need it. His passive is what's going to make him amazing. Alright, and remember, with survival, you're always trying to clear every wave before the next wave comes in. But now, unfortunately, I've stacked all my characters up in the top, so if there's a lot of enemies that spawn in the bottom, I'm going to have a hard time. Okay, I'm actually a little concerned about this. Malodus is the only one who can hit multiple enemies in the same turn. So getting rid of 5 enemies from the bottom right now is going to be tricky. Let's see. Actually, this is better than I expected. So looks like we can clear out the top, but can we get to the 4 enemies in the bottom before the rare waves come in? And also, I'm prioritizing over attacking, getting Corodius to active refresh. I think that Poxwalkers are going to do a lot. Okay, now I'm in trouble. I don't think that I can clear the bottom 3 with just the units I have. I don't think that they can reach it in time. And I'm trying to save Malodus is active. I didn't use it here, and to be honest, I think I should have, because now I'm forced to use Harkin to go in against the Guardian in the bottom. Okay, you know what? We're actually I can't kill both of them, so we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna keep him on an island, so we don't have things like the Harlequins coming in and toasting him. But I think Malodus is probably gone. These are rare enemies against uncommon units, so I don't think he's gonna survive. Yep, there he goes. Okay, my first priority has to be taking out the remaining uncommon units now. That would be the Warlock in the bottom and the Guardian in the bottom. This shouldn't be a problem because the 3 damage dealers that I have should all be able to take each of those out with 1 hit. And then once they're both out, I'll get an Ascension to rare, and that should help. Okay, hard to kills. Now, I need to kill the Guardian with somebody. I used Karn, to be honest. I think that here might have been better to use Lucius or even Rockbone, just because now that Karn's rare, he can do things like take out 2 of the rare enemies at once. Okay, I have the active refresh on Corodius. What I'm hoping for is that by using it, he spawns next to some enemy. Oh, I hate Harlequins so much. It would have been ideal if he could have killed one, or if the Poxwalkers would have taken out one or even both of the Harlequins, because when the Poxwalkers kill, they summon a Poxwalker in their place if the unit they kill is not mechanical. As you can see, we just got a couple more in. Alright. So, I want to keep Harkin alive. I'm stacking as many buffs on him as I can. And since Karn can take out multiple enemies per turn, I'm not too concerned about that. Alright, we did not finish off the first rare wave, but we still have another rare wave coming in. Alright, Lucius was just killed by a Guardian, and I do not have any decent reinforcements. I believe that on the test server I have an Abraxas at gold 1, but I did not get an option to summon him in. So let's see where we can get from here. My priority now is actually to kill the Guardian that is blocking Lucius from summoning. I know that with Lucius's passive, the Guardian would get revived in another turn, but I want him back sooner rather than later. I want the extra unit on the field, especially since Typhus at Iron 1 is, or even Stone 1 is not going to help. The good thing is that he has Terminator armor and is resilient, so there's a chance that he'll last a round or so. Okay, Rockbone is going to heal up Corodius, or actually himself. This is a strategy that I see a lot, potentially misused. Remember, Rockbone doesn't have a 100% chance of revival, but it's 75%. I know you're playing with numbers, so it's not a guarantee, but I have always found it better to keep Rockbone at full health and adjacent to a low health and friendly, as opposed to healing the low health friendly and keeping Rockbone at low health. The way the AI works, it tends to target lower health units that it can come closer to killing. Oh, there went Karn. Great. So, not necessarily going well. Let's just keep on trying and see where we get to. Again, priority here is taking out the wave so we can get more refreshes. So anyways, what I was saying is that the AI tends to target enemies that it can bring closer to death. I believe that's the phrasing that Nandi used. So if you heal units around Rockbone, and Rockbone is at low health, the enemy is going to target Rockbone, which is not what you want. You want the enemy to target the other units and basically pray to RNGesus that you get Rockbone to revive your friendly unit if it gets killed. Okay. Now, remember, this is the tip I was saying. You want to try to use Corodius's active when there are a decent but not a lot of enemies around, a decent number of enemies around, because you're hoping that the Poxwalkers are going to spawn adjacent to enemies and take them out. Okay, We only have 2 units left from this wave, so, and we have a decent number of Poxwalkers on the field if they can stay alive. The other nice thing, people don't necessarily realize this, but because it just happens because the Poxwalkers are summoned by Herodias, they're all centered within his Contagions of Nurgle aura, which means that on their next turn they immediately get a +1 movement buff. I'm going to assume that the Poxwalkers will take care of that Wraith Guard up there, so now I'm focusing on the units below. Something to remember when you're playing the Eldari, if you have a Warlock around, the Psychers, and you have a lot of Guardians, you should focus on the Warlock. The Guardians are typically easier to kill, but the Warlocks prevent the Guardians from proccing Battle Fatigue, and you want Battle Fatigue to happen as much as possible. Okay, I managed to get a Resurrect. We're in the Epic Wave. I chose to summon back in Karn simply because I think I can perhaps play a little better and keep him alive, and I want his quick movement and the ability to take out two or even 3 enemies that are not adjacent to each other per turn. Alright, this is what I was talking about. I'm using Rockbone to heal himself again, not Herodias, because if Herodias dies, Rockbone has a chance at reviving him. If Herodias is healed and Rockbone dies, well, then I'm screwed because no one's going to bring Rockbone back. Okay, for a survival event, for maximum points, that is to open the crates, your goal is to get past wave 10, that's the final epic wave. For books, you need to clear wave 11. It's been that way with every survival that I've played, and I started with Ascor. I'm actually feeling a little better about this now. I think Harkin should... I'm guessing that Guardian is going to move closer to Karn and Harkin, and then Karn is going to go after him. So that's actually good. That might give the chance for Karn to move to the bottom and help out down there. I need Lucius to kill. What I found so far is that obviously he's not as strong as Karn or Malladus when it comes to attacking, so Karn I would trust to take out the Wraith Guard in one hit. Lucius I wouldn't. So we're going to move Herodias. I'm not sure if summoning here is going to help or if I want to wait for one more wave. I don't honestly, I'm not sure if I have much of a choice. So I'm going to try to hold off. I hope. Yeah, I'm going to try to hold off and see what Herodias should survive, and then yeah, okay, good. So the Guardian in the top moved closer to Karn. That allowed Karn to kill him with his passive, which means that Karn can go in and pick up the armor power up. I think that that's important. All right. That was not what I wanted. Okay. Okay, I got really lucky there. What I was hoping for is that Lucius would have taken out the Wraith Guard, but he didn't. Rockbone killed the Guardian, and Herodias was able to summon adjacent to the Wraith Guard, which meant that we cleared the final epic wave, which means we get the Ascension to Legendary. Alright. One of the nice things about the enemy AI is that if it has a place to move, it will not move on to power up. So you can see that there was that health power up there. Did not take it, thankfully, so Karn was able to come in and get it after taking out the Harlequin, which again I just hate so much. Just such a terrible unit to play against. Oh, speaking of Harlequins, I think that people misunderstand how their block works and how blocks in general work. Remember, you can't block psychic damage, it always goes through, and when you can block a certain amount of damage, you don't block the entire hit, you just block that damage. So for example, if Harlequins can block 50% of their health and damage, what you can do is hit them with a unit that is going to do more than twice their health and damage. Then they can't end up blocking that hit. If they do block it, they'll still die and it doesn't matter. And okay, look at this. We actually made it through wave 11. We cleared it. That means we picked up 3 legendary experience books. Nice. I'm actually going to stop here. I don't think that I stand a chance of making it through wave 14 or to wave 14. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more incoming videos. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good day.